Let's talk to a team that always a headline, mate. It was at Vitality. It was Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 2. Never quite. I mean, I'm just letting you shake your head and laughing because. Talk to me about Manchester United, the first 45 minutes, and where we are in the Erik Ten Hag developing this football club, moving this football club forward, or not, as the case may be.
Of all the things I've learned in the game, Rob, from playing, from the coaching badges I've done, both at the UEFA level and here in the US Soccer Federation level, the one thing that's a common, really, is that the objective of the game, when you have possession, right, it's good to spread out. So you can create passing avenues and you make players available and there's spaces to try and pull opponents apart. And when you don't have the ball, you want the opposite. You want to be tight, so it's hard for opponents to play through your lines or play anywhere because you're nice and tight. I have never seen a Premier League team that are so spread out. Now we've seen this. This is nothing new. This is nothing new, and this has been pointed out before about Maguire wants to be deeper. The front players want to press high, and you have this incredible distance in between. Now that just means that every team that play against Man United are going to get chances and opportunities because there's space to play. And we had the number, Rob. What is it before this game? Here it is. It's 554 shots faced by Man United, right? Which is the second most in the Premier League, behind last place Sheffield United. So I mean, I like that stat. I mean, I like that stat.
I was going to say, I thought you don't like stats.
Yeah, only when
you like
I use them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we saw more evidence of that, Rob, in the first half that I labelled as embarrassing, right? And in all what we do here, I try and be really respectful and not be too critical in a harsh way because I understand what it's like. I have never seen United as bad as that first 45 minutes, and I know the scoreline wasn't awful, but just in terms of
they were 2-1 down,
organisation. And with Erik Ten Hag on the sideline just looking like a blank face that wasn't animated.
Tell me a couple of things here then. And again, it's not pile on United, it's trying to actually explain what's happening and how things may or may not improve. Tell me how Andoni Earle can go in at Bournemouth with a group of players who are not as talented as Man United players, whatever you say, and create an identity, a way of playing that you can see and understand, whether they win, lose or draw, Rob. He was manager of the month last month and great, but I'm talking about how does that happen at one club, isn't happening at the other. And then tell me that how can you have a week, you've got no European football, you've got no, how can you have a week of preparation and see that? If you're a player, Rob, and that's happening, you're talking about when we're playing, I'll be going to Gaffer, what's going on? Or you'd be asking in training, like, sometimes you're inquisitive, like, why are we doing this? What work are we doing?
Yeah.
How's that going to help me on at the weekend?
Well, the only way I can explain it is that there's changes at the football club. We did hear that the staff and the back room, we don't know what's going on. There's no ownership. Nobody knows if they've got a job. That's
affecting what's happening on the training pitch.
The players the same. Are the players the same? Did they look like they were running around for the manager? They look like they're playing for the manager. Is the man-manager experience that we've had with different situations at the club with players on and off the field, it doesn't look like the players are really that bothered right now, which is an incredible thing to say. I mean, Bruno Fernandes was bothered.
Yeah.
For whether people like his antics, and he's a very emotional player. At least he runs around a lot. At least he's trying to make things right. But other players, between youthful and find it difficult in this situation. I'm thinking of your Højlunds, your Garnachos didn't have a great game. Mainoo in midfield as well. That's difficult when he's encouraged, by the way. He is encouraged, Mainoo and Bruno, to run forward. And your insurance policy is Casemiro, who's been a brilliant player, but at 32 years of age, he's with those distances that we talked about from the front to the back, he's got to cover these huge amounts of area, which is the manager's tactical situation from attitude of the squad, things are changing, to the tactics of the manager, to the profile of some of the players being a little older and some being allowed to run forward as much as they want and not that bothered about running back. You ended up with a game, like a game of two ends of the field. A game in the defensive end,
football,
and then a game at the other end when they won the ball. Yeah, so, I mean, better second half, Rob, where I thought Man United, I'd describe it, they went from awful to average. They had some decent shape, a little bit more together, and they looked a little better. But still, even the second half, it wasn't as though Man United finished strong and they looked like
I was sort of listening to a few radio shows last night, and you're trying to pick a bit of feed up, and I kind of in my head was thinking, Rob, has there been a game or a couple of games where you've seen United, certain teams can almost cruise at a certain point. We're 2-0 up, we'll cruise, they stop the opposition, control the opposition, Man City do it, Liverpool do it. We're talking about that's where United want to be. I always feel like United are like at full stretch to get a draw, and it's all out. There's never no control, comfortable possession and keeping the ball.
Yeah,
and
you can control the game with possession.
Yeah, with possession, yeah.
They're not great at that, and I think the manager says that they're not really built for that. They're built for transition football. They want to be the greatest transition team in the world. So if that's the case, then the control comes from defensive shape and structure and like a Mourinho type of deal where we're really strong defensively and we're sprung ready to hurt you on the counter. That would be that side of it. So I think at times...
Is he caught between the two? Is he caught between being at Manchester United and thinking we have to play a bit?
I don't think he... Maybe, but I don't think they're good at... They're certainly not good at possessing and bossing like an Arsenal is or a Man City is or sometimes a Brighton is, that style. But they're not good defensively, are they? If they were really, really strong defensively and were tight, and then they had the Garnacho and Rashford and Bruno playing the balls in, I kind of don't mind it. I prefer the proactive, creative, expansive football, but if a team's good at doing that side of it, but they haven't shown that. So I don't know where he goes, Rob, where I want to be a transitional team, but we're not very strong defensively to be effective at that, because when you're defensive, you're going to invite pressure and stuff from the opponents.
To give him some kind of out, they've been missing a lot of players. Martinez,
yeah, they are.
Varane,
Defenders.
Lindelof, Luke Shaw would make a difference. In that defensive area.
Yes, accepted, but the distances and stuff. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that space and different players might. But the manager, I mean, surely managers like
we see others close it up.
So I don't know. I can't see how Ineos, the new kind of owners in some ways, the guys in charge of the football side, I don't know how they would continue with Erik ten Hag.
I mean, we were talking Champions League, weren't we? That would probably be the thing to...
That's what I said that, but I mean, that's
he's now
not
in,
happening.
what, 7th spot?
That's not happening. Champions League's not happening. 4th or 5th, they're 10 points behind? 6 games to go. That's not happening. I mean, listen, a podcast for another day in terms of who would be the right guy for Man United, and I understand there's not many of them that would maybe be right, but I think it'd be wasted time if they continue with Erik ten Hag into next season. I just don't see enough, and the backward step from last year, which was good, to this is astonishing to me. And 7th place right now, 23 points off the top, and the way that what you see with your eye, I don't see it continuing. Do you? Do you see any way he continues?
I just think the guy who's come into the football club, running the football side now, just a gym, is he wants best of class in what he does, mate. He's put good people in places, and I'm afraid I think he's going to find a coach who's more suited to what he wants in his ambitions.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.